what I have now is I have people that are experts in each platform. So I've got a person who only does YouTube, a person who only does Instagram and Facebook because they're connected through Meta, a person that only does LinkedIn, a person that only does podcasts, a person that only does newsletters. Those now I've got experts that can do that. But if I was just doing it myself, I would pick one of those things, and it would probably be YouTube, Instagram, or it'd probably be podcast, newsletter, YouTube, or Instagram. Those to me are the four strongest things I feel that I've got that generate consistent, high quality lead flow to what I want, which is I want to do deals with people.
A good place to start would just talk about, as I call it, origin story, kind of how you got started in the digital marketing industry and what led to where you are now, in a like kind of a summary way.
Yeah. So I've always been fascinated with computers, and as the internet evolved and became a thing, I was there at the beginning, and I was really creating sites that were insanely difficult to create and market. My initial digital marketing, which was very effective, was to stuff keywords into the bottom of the site and turn the font the color of the background so that you couldn't see them. And I was a genius because I could rank anything. That evolved into things that made programming and creating websites significantly easier, like WordPress and things like that. I was basically took coding courses in HTML and Cold Fusion and Pascal and Basic and all of those things from when I was a kid, really, until it became just so much easier to do everything. So my first online stuff was in the gaming space and education and e-learning type things. I bumped into a group of people who I thought were really good on the marketing side. There was a guy named Ryan Dice who had a company that was not yet Digital Marketer. I forget what it was called at the time. And he did a product with a guy named Mr. X, and it was all about AdWords. And I bought that, and I was like, these guys seem like they know what they're doing. I should follow them. There was a guy named Jeff Johnson that was talking about private blog networks and things like that. And I really liked that because I like tech stuff. So I liked SEO initially before I think I liked anything else. And I built a pretty extensive private blog network and used that to rank all kinds of things. And those were kind of the main guys that were influential to me getting started. And I decided that I would try my hand at being an affiliate just to see how it worked. And I was an Amazon affiliate, collecting 4% on my sales of Amazon products. But it was fun to see the first ding, ding, dings happen. And then I got enamored with what Jeff Walker was doing with product launches, and saw that people were doing product launches, and I studied that, and I was like, it seems like you could probably do pretty well at that. So I tried my very first one, usually when I was traveling, because I had the ability to have time away. And so from a dial-up connection in Indonesia, I decided to participate in the very first launch that I did, which was for a guy named Richard Roop. And I forget what the name of it was, but I was like, this is really cool. He did an event in Las Vegas, and I wish I could remember what the name of the product was, but at the event he announced what the product was going to be, and I went to GoDaddy and I did the domain name for the product, and it was free. It was available. And I went out front to his team that was sitting out front, and I said, are you guys going to call this? And they were like, yes, we're going to call that. And I was like, okay. So I bought the domain name and I bought the domain name, launch, bonus, everything I could think of that went with it. And not to screw him, by the way, he was just not launching. He was launching it under, on his regular site. So I was like, okay, well, that's a pretty good advantage. And then I used my private blog network to SEO all of them to be top searches. And so I had like the top 8 search results for the thing. I didn't have any list, by the way. And so I was competing against, I think, 130 people that were all the real estate top dogs who had these giant lists and everything. And I came in third. And it was pretty fun for me because like coming in third with no list and no experience and no presence in that world just proved how cool SEO was, and and that you could do this product launch. Interestingly enough, he never paid anybody for the longest time. And then I was at some event maybe 3 years later, again in Las Vegas, and he came up and spoke and was like, I'm so sorry, everything went terribly, and I owe people money, and I brought money to pay him, and he had cash, and the top people that were in his launch that were there, and I happened to be there, he's like, I owe you money, here it is, and he paid. So I was like, well, that's pretty cool of him to come around. But what that told me was that I could do this product launch thing, and I was fascinated by it. So I ended up on a trip to Italy. My wife and I had kind of gone through France and Italy, and then this volcano erupted in Iceland and put ash into the air and closed all the airports. So our flights coming home were canceled and everything. We kind of done everything. We'd been gone for almost a month and done everything we wanted to do. So I asked her, I said, is there anything else you want to do here? We were in Naples at the time. And she said, other than eating good pizza, no. I said, okay, fair enough. Can I do this launch thing? Can I try my hand at this? And she's like, sure, I don't care. I got lots of stuff I want to read. So I went and found a product that a guy named Mike Koenigs was launching called Main Street Marketing Machines. And I basically I bought the domains for Main Street Marketing Machines, bonus, and all this other stuff. I SEO'd it. I wrote I think it was like a 7 or 14, maybe it was 14-page business plan, like just outlined bullet points of all the different ways I was going to market. I created YouTube videos and had 17 out of the 20 top spaces for all the key keywords. I did ranking for bonus and all of those things and was in the top. Usually I'd have like 4 to 6 of the top 10 sites on Google ranking. I built a webinar about it. I asked their affiliate manager if I could get the names of the people that I sent. And they said, no, we're not sharing those. And I was like, okay, so I found a guy to build me a mock-up of the website that Mike had. And everybody that I sent to that site, which basically had a little robot that would register them on his site. So I had all the names and emails of everybody so that I could market and get them to buy his thing, but also so I had a list, which I didn't have before. And I ended up selling, it was 1.3 million roughly in 6 days on that launch. Came in first by a long shot. And I was like, this is really, really cool. Along what that did for me was it gave me some cred in the digital marketing world. So people were like, who's this person that won this launch? Because everybody was competing at the time for it. And so it got me closer to Ryan Deiss, whose mastermind I joined after going to his Traffic and Conversion Summit event. Ultimately, a few years later, I think it was about 3 years later, Ryan and Perry Belcher invited me to come in and be a partner with them on Digital Marketer and Traffic and Conversion Summit and all their other digital businesses. That really gave me a pretty big leg into that. I had already been asked through the mastermind of theirs that I had joined to be part of Kent Clothier's business, which was a real estate investing business. And so I kind of just took all the marketing skills that I had and knowledge and applied them in those worlds, and ultimately was able to gain ownership in a whole bunch of other digital companies and do product launches and everything you might imagine that digital marketers do. How's that for a wordy story?